Welcome to the Royal Daily Tea YouTube channel. Please be advised all of my videos are for entertainment purposes only, based 100% on my own opinion, my own theories, and my own research. All of my information can be found on the public domain and falls under the fair use guidelines. Please feel free to do your own research. Hello and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. I just want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers. You guys are amazing. I'm definitely loving all of your comments, and I'm going to do a future video on royal conspiracies based on some of the things that you guys are mentioning in your comments, because I think they're worthy of a further discussion. So stay tuned for that. Now let's get on to the Royal Daily Tea. So I want to let y'all know that I did you a huge favor, and I actually watched the full Meghan Markle interview on Ellen DeGeneres today. It was in between a work meeting, but I did watch the full show, and boy, do I have some stuff to say. So keep in mind, when I did watch the interview, I approached it with an open mind. I went into it just gonna watch the show and give it my 100% opinion, and I was trying not to be biased. I just wanted to watch the show. Now, I will say that Meghan looked beautiful. She was wearing a really pretty white Oscar de la Renta top, which I believe is valued at around $4,000. It was a very pretty top. She was very understated. She did have on a few pieces of her key jewelry. She did look like she was kind of paring it down. Now, she was a little bit more demure in this interview, not so in your face. She seemed like she was trying to put on the persona of, I'm a likable gal. I'm just like everybody else, except for call me Duchess. So kind of down with the common folk, trying to humble herself a bit. This was definitely a PR stunt for sure. And I believe she wore white because white is a symbol of purity. It's a symbol of innocence. And as we know right now, Miss Markle is not doing very well in the court of public opinion. She is accused of committing perjury in her former lawsuit with the Associated Press, where she is caught lying to the courts. So right now, Meghan needs a lot of positive PR. So wearing white and appearing on the Ellen DeGeneres show, guys, was not a coincidence. This was a very well thought after, crafted PR move by her very expensive team of PR publicists. I can say they definitely earned their lunch today. Now, as we know, Ellen DeGeneres and the Duchess of Sussex and Harry are neighbors. They live in the same Montecito neighborhood as their other gal pal, Oprah Winfrey. Now, during the interview, it was surprising to me that the entire show, the entire hour, was dedicated to Meghan. Normally, when a star or a celebrity appears on a talk show, they usually get a segment of the show. So there's usually 1, 2, maybe even 3 guests, maybe 1 or 2 guests and a musical act. But today it was literally Meghan was the only guest for the entire hour. And normally when someone appears on a talk show, they're appearing on a talk show because they're promoting something. They're promoting a movie, a TV show, an album, a book, a makeup line, an appearance, something. Well, Meghan didn't have anything to promote. She was basically there to get some good press. So they gave her the entire show, which again was kind of shocking because she's not a celebrity, she's not an actress, she doesn't have an album, nothing. It was basically a 1-hour love fest telling Meghan how wonderful she was, but how down to earth she is. but how wonderful. But call me Duchess. It was literally an hour love fest. So that was why I was like, why did she get the entire hour? Now, they did not go into any hardcore questioning, of course, because this was Ellen, her friend, this was her neighbor. This is two women who basically, in my opinion, should be canceled. As we know, Ellen DeGeneres is not exactly America's sweetheart that she used to be. She's now the queen of mean instead of the queen of nice. And the funny thing about Ellen is she has this thing about just be nice. It's like, really? Really? Kind of like Meghan. Meghan thinks that she's Ariel and she's Snow White, and I like to fight for women's rights and for justice, and I like to do the right thing. And then we find out behind the scenes that she's vile and manipulative and does quite the opposite. So these two women, it's no surprise that they're friends because two birds of a feather stick together. They're both known for bullying, for not being so nice, for being fake, pretentious. I mean, what's not to love about one another? It's like looking in a mirror. They're like twins, right? I don't know. And I have to be honest, I do not like Ellen DeGeneres. I used to be a fan a long time ago. I don't really watch TV, but I used to be a fan of Ellen, and she kind of just turned me off. There was something about her energy that just, I don't know. I think sometimes when people get to a certain level of success, they become pretentious. It's the same with Oprah. I used to love me my Oprah. Oprah was my girl. I used to run home from school to watch Oprah. Out of the two of them, I actually preferred Meghan, which was surprising, but I actually preferred Meghan. So the show starts off with Meghan coming out, and she's trying to be this very, pared down Duchess. I'm just a little California girl like everyone else. I'm very likable and very relatable. So she's trying really hard to get this connection with the audience for people to kind of relate to her. So she shares this story of how, I used to come here at this lot when I was a struggling actress, parking lot 3 or stage 3. And, I used to drive this old beat up car that the door was broken and I had to slide in through the trunk. And it was so embarrassing. I had to park in the back and yada, yada. I don't know if I believe this little broken car story. Apparently she's told this exact story about 6 years before, trying to tell people how she was a struggling actress. Now, she might have had a couple of years struggling, but I really don't believe she struggled like most people. You have to remember her father won the lotto when she was about 10 years old. He put her through private school. He paid for her college, her sorority. When she got out of college, she headed over, I guess, to Hollywood. But back in 2004, when she was around 23, she started dating her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, who was a Hollywood producer. Now, at that time, he may or may not have been financially well off, but he was connected, and he was already working in the industry on several TV shows. So they did date for 7 years before they finally got married in 2011, the same year that she got Suits and moved to Canada. And of course, 2 years later, she mails him back his wedding ring because she no longer needs him. In my personal opinion, according to her brother, Thomas Markle Jr., Trevor treated her like a princess. He gave her whatever she wanted, and she kind of just bossed him and led him around. I really think that he was supporting her while she was working as a struggling actress. So here she is on the Ellen show, really working the real relatable, I'm just down to earth person, but call me Duchess, story about me not being able to get into my car and, the whole story about the $4.99 at Sizzler, right? So she's really trying hard to become nice and relatable, and the audience is kind of laughing with her. And you can tell Ellen is kind of leading her like into each little segue kind of flows. So I really believe that when Meghan got on this show, these were all pre-approved questions. These were stuff that Ellen probably told her ahead of time, things that we're going to bring up and that we're going to discuss, because it was too well rehearsed. In my opinion, I believe it was like an act they were putting on. So they also talked about how when Meghan was 9, she made scrunchies as a kid because she's so innovative. You know, Meghan, she's just, you know, such a superstar at even a young age. They were telling stories about her childhood, where she grew up. And then, of course, my favorite was when they discussed how happy her and Harry were in Montecito, and it's their second Thanksgiving, and she's going to be cooking the Thanksgiving dinner. I guess another roasted chicken, except for a roasted turkey. I don't even think she knows where the kitchen is, but hey. So they were talking about this past Halloween and how Meghan and Harry saw Portia and Ellen, and they talked about the costumes of Lilibet and Archie, and how her daughter's, teething and she's up all night with the baby. Yeah, another story I don't believe, but okay, let's play along, Meghan, that you're just like all the rest of us, right? Okay. I don't believe this woman has missed a week asleep in her life. So the other thing that was really interesting to me was they were talking about them being neighbors, how they're friends, Halloween. They talked about, before Harry and Meghan were officially out as a couple, that they snuck out to a Halloween party in Toronto, Canada, with his cousin, Princess Eugenie, and her then boyfriend, Jack Brooksbank, who is her husband. And they were under disguise, and nobody recognized him at the Halloween bash. Well, I'm sorry, but in 2016, nobody knew who you were, Meghan. So nobody would have recognized you. Maybe Prince Harry, but they wouldn't have recognized you. So she's like, yeah, we just want to have one last hurrah before it was out to the world. Like, did they make a big announcement or something? Did I miss something? I don't remember a huge announcement of them in 2016, but she was trying to act like, oh, before it goes public, we just want to have one more moment for ourselves. The woman who literally has not had much of an acting career is trying to keep it private. We all know she probably called the press herself and teed them off. Hey, we're going to be at this event. And then they segued over to the Parental Leave Act, where Meghan said it was an important cause close to her heart since becoming a mother, that she feels that all people should have the right to stay home. Of course, she's forgetting that she's a multi-millionaire, so she can stay home for 6 months at a time if she wants to. But of course, Ellen was making it seem like, wow, it's so amazing that you're on this cause. As we know, Meghan is getting on the tail end of this. It has nothing to do with Meghan making phone calls to senators or talking about it. It's another bandwagon that she jumped on top of, but she's going to take credit for if it passes. And then the final thing was, of course, every single person in the audience received a free copy of the event. Of course they did. She only had 500 copies stacked in her garage that she needed to ship the heck out of there. So, of course, she's going to, pawn it off on Ellen's audience as a tax write-off. But it made her look so sweet and so generous, talking about the poem and how they turned it into a book. Literally, this show was an hour love poem to Meghan. It was a love fest about how wonderful Meghan is, how she's down to earth, but she's a duchess, all the great things she's doing. She's so charitable. She's so inventive. It was odd. And they did it with her good friend Ellen. Ellen, who could use some good press herself. Definite PR move. They are definitely trying to put some positive press out there, trying to kill the negative press. But at the end of the day, Meghan, you still committed perjury. You're still not a nice person. And I don't know how many fluff piece interviews you're going to do. I don't know if it's ever going to change the court of public opinion against you regarding your actions. So let me know your thoughts. Did you watch the Ellen and Meghan Markle interview? Did it change your opinion about Meghan? Do you think this press piece worked in changing the public opinion of Meghan? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by my channel. Please be sure to go over to my website, royaldailytea.com. I will be updating it weekly with new blogs, and check me out on all of my other social media channels. As always, guys, thank you for stopping by the channel and have an awesome and amazing day.